Yo, check me out, I'm LGB. The weekend is coming to a close once again. Sunday means Kerbal Space Sundays over here on the channel. Tonight, hopefully, compared to last week's little misadventure, I guess we'll call it, it took over an hour to do a single mission rendezvous, pick up a Kerbal, and head back home. So the plan tonight, as there's a plan on every one of these nights, is to get to the moon, different biome than our first landing, do our second landing, collect a bunch of science, bring it on home, cash all that stuff in. That's the plan. We did edit the craft a couple times, and I kind of want to have like a base moon lander, which sounds very simple for experienced Kerbal Space Program players. That is, that's not quite what I am. That's not fair. Seasoned, I guess, would be better for people that would make this easier. Anyway, we're going to go to the moon. That's the plan. I do have to work tomorrow, so I don't want to cut anything short tonight, but we're going to restrict it to the moon landing, and that's it. And then we'll call it a night. I say that. The rendezvous in orbit took an hour, so you never know. Who knows what's going to happen? Tea of the evening is Earl Grey. It's time for Kerbal Space Program. Perry, good to see you. Thanks for coming in once again. Moon time indeed. As always, though, we're going to do our little refresh and see. I don't think... Okay, science from the data. I took a gamble that this is not from any specific spot, and the criteria doesn't look like it's going to be. So I think we're safe on that. This is going to be, I think, dock? Yeah, dock around Kerbal. So that'll be nothing we need to worry about. I don't think I can collect moonstone yet. Yeah, and it's specific biomes too. So it gives us 10 years. I kind of want to take it just for the sake of taking it. Oh, we can do 7 contracts. Let's take it. Let's take it. I don't think we're going to get into position tonight anyway, where we're actually going to locate one, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, surface deployed. We don't have all the science necessary for those parts yet. I think that'll be fine. This will do eventually. Okay, so science and then moonstone. Moonstone, like I said, I don't know that we've got... it's probably here. Maybe not. It's not going to be spaceplane stuff. That's just mission-based. Maybe we already can grab it. I don't know, but... Anyway, alright. We've got our self-imposed mission. We've got our contracts to drive said mission. Let's crack this bad boy back open. I think there were several issues. One was I was making space debris. I think I fixed that by cracking a tank up and down versus having it too much delta V on the bottom stage, if I remember right. I think that problem's been solved. I think what we're gonna have to do is just kick this bad boy off the launch pad and see what happens realistically. Now we are gonna bring old Bob with us, so old Bob can collect some Science Junior, and that's really where I'm hoping to get the majority of science on this run is from the Science Junior, because the first mission, moon landing, we certainly didn't have that, but we can crack it a couple times too. I don't think we've done things with it in orbit, things like that. So yeah, we'll see how we're doing. The lander I know will be pretty good. This is shorter than the previous lander, and that landing went just fine. We don't need to do any RCS. Staging we checked. Total delta V is more than enough for a landing. I think we're in good shape. So let's give her a shot here. Trying to like just think this through for, you know, sake of expediting our mistakes, but I think we're okay. I think we'll be good. Let's detach real quick and just get a let's see, by that point we'll be kind of... Oh, you know what, I detached way too much. It's fine, it's fine. We've done it before. Everything will be fantastic. Yeah, and we'll get the science out of the Science Junior, so we don't need to bring that back home with us. I'm assuming a blader's been reduced. It has. One last paranoid stage check. Cool. Sid. Space, space, space! You know it. Well, that's the plan anyway. We'll see what's up. You really should use fairing so that the different diameter tanks look less weird. I know I should, and I will as soon as we, especially after I get a better lander. Because, yeah, even this looks funky, right? Like, this just being exposed. You know what? You're right. I can't argue with solid logic. Let's, I gave him the fairing mode for that. Yes, you did. In this case, this is just going to be a straight up fairing, though. So, no fancy, inside payload is where she's at. Construction bits like you showed me, which is super cool though. You gonna let me get away with this? It is. Okay. It's still gonna be a funky looking fairing, but not nearly as bad as the other stuff. Now we could fairing like all of it, but and that looks goofy. It's actually worse with the fairing. I don't like it. I don't like it. I promise we'll do better next time. And by promise I mean maybe. Okay, did we screw anything up? I doubt it with just clicking that off and doing fairing. But I can't disagree. Perry, you're right on the fairing. Sid, you're right on using it for cool stuff. But we'll be lame and uncool and incorrect. Just have the fairing go to the top of the sloped tank. So this is what's bothering you then, is it? This stuff here? Ideally, it would, you know, like, it would start here, encapsulate everything, and then it would look a lot more symmetrical too, but apologies. Apologies. I promise. No, I gotta stop using the P word. We'll try to do better for you. Here we go. Now, I think after we kind of adjusted our craft, I'm not calling it a rocket, it's not just a rocket, but you're with me. I think after we adjusted it and then I kind of cleaned up my garbage technique a little bit, I think our launch was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was awesome, I wouldn't say it was efficient. Decent, I'll go with. I always forget to click that over too to keep an eye on that bad boy. Yeah, like this turn was probably just a little slower than desired, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I think you're right, Para. Like at this point in the launch is when I look at it and I'm like, ugh, it looks so bad. Who built this thing? Yeah, I should have done a fairing from down here. When you're right, you're right. I can't argue with truth. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty solid. Get rid of those. Pretty good. We're getting thin enough, we'll just full blast it. Because my other issue with this one, I think I fixed it, but maybe I didn't, is we're still going to produce some space garbage before we circularize. We'll see what happens here, though. It's still too heavy, too. That's pretty apparent. Too much weight for just this one bobcat. Yeah, I'm basically like wasting. I need a better thrust weight on this stage because I need to bring all this fuel just to kind of blast it because I'm too heavy. Might have been a little too aggressive on this turn too. There we go. Apoapsis is trending up, so that's gonna be fine. Speed's looking good. That's coming up nicely. We're probably still a little too steep. It's not too bad. That's pretty good. It's a lot better than we've been doing, so I'm not unhappy with that by any means. Yeah, that's not too bad, because then we can kick this bottom ugly stage out and then circularize after the fact. Minimize the space trash. Alright, let's cut the engine. Just blast that away there. Cool, cool. Yeah, because this is pre-existing space garbage that we're looking at the orbit for. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, Arferts, that's right. I needed to go into the tracking center and turn it off, but if I do that, I'll stop talking about it, and then I'll completely forget that it was a thing. It's very ominously quiet. There we go. Like, not even the, you know, transfer into orbit music was, it was just nothing. Just silence. I think if I turn that up too loud for you guys too, same for me. Turn it up too loud, we're going to be listening to rocket blasting. Now I will have to get a little creative. We're only going to use 530 to circularize. So that did solve our space trash issue, but I'll need to make sure that this lower stage is going to smack into the moon before we steer clear of that. I don't... 530. We're going to have about 560-ish left after that maneuver. I think we'll have to stage into this one before we get there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, overall not unhappy with all that, other than the aesthetics and being sassed at for no fairings. I need it. I need the sassing, otherwise I'll just go about making these gross things that barely work. Alright, circle this bad boy out. I have a tendency to not actually place that. Like, I don't zoom in close enough and I just kind of smack it on there, and that's, I think, why we keep getting these very odd shaped orbits that, you know, work out well enough, but just kind of funky looking, I guess. All right, good enough. Good enough. We're not playing out down here anyway. We are moonbound. Yeah, there's our Gilwell capsule. That'll have to be another recovery object, and then I think we've got like 1 or 2 different stages that have been floating around, accomplishing nothing out here, much like us. Give me that intercept. What do we got here? What do we got? 439. Let's do a little better than that. Do like a 30-ish. Okay, or I'll I'm like looking at the wrong things while I'm adjusting it. There we go, that's perfect. Now I don't think we need any of this science, but while we're sitting here in a stable orbit, we'll take a 0.5. We'll take a 0.5 of science every single time. What a waste, but we'll take it. There we go. Look at that, a 6.0. You can't argue with science numbers like that. Bob, you're gonna have to get out. It's too crowded in here. Get that. I don't think we're close enough for that. I think he's gonna have to go crawling. There we go. Not too far. And then let's pull... Oh, we didn't do a crew report. Okay, so we don't need to collect and then store. Cool. Easy enough. That 6.0 of science is very important. You never know when we'll be shy. Alright, onward. I don't want to speak too soon, but I honestly thought we were going to do the same kind of thing we did last week, where I was going to be messing around with a million different things and have to, you know, like readjust and rebuild the rocket and whatnot, but I'm quite hopeful, and there's no reason not to be. This is almost as simple as it gets. After we hit the moon, probably this might be the last time. We might go to Minmus next week, but obviously that is simpler. But I have made it seem that this is the hardest thing in the game to do. Yeah, okay. So this is why there's more space junk from the rendezvous. I didn't adjust this properly. So this is gonna run out of fuel kind of at the wrong part here. So yeah, I'll need to rethink that eventually and kind of replay with this a little bit. I did a N1 RP1 moon landing a few days ago. Parent, like most times when we chat about the things that you're doing in Kerbal Space Program, I don't know what that is. You'll have to enlighten. I know you do a lot of cool stuff with modding and kind of realism type stuff. I don't know if RP1 is that, what's the Kerbalism? That mod where it does the failures and stuff that you were talking about on your previous stuff. But we also all know that you are much better at this than I am. Yeah, this bums me out a little bit to put this in this orbit, the stage here, but much like I always make the excuse, it will be alright. I think this is going to take a lot less, too. Let's get, let's cut that off until I can get eyes on it. There we go. Click, 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 click. Alright, we have that. Let's not make the same mistake I always make. I love this little curvature bit, too. Just at the odd angle that we're coming at it. What do we got over there? Now, I do remember on the first landing, I was a little tight on delta V-wise. So this, I'm feeling a lot better at this. What's that give us? 1580? 1580-ish? So we'll probably be down to a little less than 1,000 from the surface. And I think that'll be okay. That we might have to do some air braking, which is not the coolest thing in the world, but it's alright. Let's see. How long do we have? We have a day. Let's go... That's not what I wanted. I thought you could do... Yeah, there we go. They're on their way, right? Yeah, on their way. And I don't think this is just going to give us the same 5.5. Yeah, in space near Kerbal. All right. I think we'll have to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence before we grab another material studier and that stuff. Let's go over into the Space Center, which it won't let me do. Am I accelerating? Is that why? No? What I want is to make sure we don't land on the same spot on the moon, essentially. I don't really know why it wouldn't let me just do it from that menu up there, but anyway. N1 was the proposed Soviet moon mission, and yes, I'm using the engine failure mod. I have a bunch of part mods too. I think it would be cool to see you do a landing with all those mods and stuff, because the engine failure stuff sounds really interesting to me too. What did I want to do? I wanted to see where flags are. Okay, so we're in that largest crater. So as long as we don't land in a crater, then we'll be good to go. Back to Moonlander, back to flying it. Yeah, I think that would be really interesting, especially for me to watch. Just because, as you have seen many times at this point, everything for me is not advanced. That's not the right word. I don't like to downplay, like, you know, it's not like I'm a dum-dum or anything, but I haven't done this stuff often enough and recent enough to be good at it, so we'll get there though, we'll get there. I think the interesting thing will be to see what my progression looks like when I'm only playing this once a week, you know? Like that does add a little bit of complication to it, but I mean, we're getting there. I would say every launch is a little better. There we go, space high over Kerbal. So let's throw some experimentation out here. I think most of this stuff is going to be done. Again, we'll take the little bits and pieces where we need to. Okay, so just goo. I think crew report's already been beaten to death at this point. So we'll just keep kicking Bob out. Let's actually... It doesn't matter. I was going to make sure he was in the light, but he can work in the dark. He's ambidextrous, but as far as light levels are concerned. Day or night. There's got to be a word for that. You know there is. Okay, we're good there. Get you back in. Now let's warp to our spot where we'll get some more science above. Yeah, modding is, I think I've blabbed about this before in previous sessions, but I think the only mods I've had, I don't think I've ever used MechJeb. I think it's Kerbal Engineer has got that part in it that I had talked about last week. Okay, there we go. I was about to say I don't want this to get too far, because we should be able to run all this stuff again. High over the moon. Yeah, cool. And I think maybe we'll have more than just the goo with a 0.2. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I think that first lander had all this stuff on here, and we managed to get all this stuff, which is good. But unfortunately, I'm going to keep spamming it until we've done this enough where I know for a fact that we've gotten all the science that we possibly can get. Yeah, I'm definitely not adverse to any of the mods, and especially the visual mods. But like I've said with that too, I haven't done any EVA reports though. Okay. Yeah, my rig wouldn't be able to handle that, so that's most of them anyway. Maybe one of them, but especially the larger, kind of like the, I forget which one, like the clouds it probably could do, and like that's just it. Volumetric clouds. Speaking tonight has been as challenging as playing the game for me for some reason. Alright, well there she is. Let's get to the next. I've got the focus on. There we go. Alright, so 262 with a quite short burn to circularize. We'll do that. Let's actually go just prior to it. Just to make sure. Keep checking on our science bits here. Because this should be kind of low orbit. While in space near. Okay. Yeah, this is going to get a little tedious, but again, just kind of every time we do one, until I know that getting to the moon, we're not going to garner any science out of it, we're just going to keep trying. Which it kind of seems, you know, we got the same thing going here, right? It's Science Junior and Goo is kind of the only thing that gets us anything, but I mean, we're racking it in so far, so this is good. Be somewhat quick about this. It's a quick burn, but I also obviously don't want to miss it. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Let's just manually do this, because nothing ever goes wrong when you manually time warp as opposed to letting the game do it for you. Rocket science is indeed pretty hard. You're doing very well. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, if I remind you that I have 217 hours, which I just saw in this game, you might retract that statement. But no, I'm having fun. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride. All right, let's get ourselves slowed down. Close enough. Now, neither one of us wants to land in the dark. This spot looks pretty good. So let's just kind of start seeing what we can do here. Let's double check, because we might be able to do some more good since we're in orbit. No, same thing. Okay. So they don't care if you're actually in orbit. This should be... well, it's space near the moon. Okay, no, so that's all the... yeah, that's all the stuff we already have. Yeah, good. Okay. Now, let's plan this out, and then we'll just kind of wing it a little bit. Kinda, not really. Let's go... like we're going to land in the crater. Yeah, okay, we're gonna be plenty good. We're not that high up, so we won't fall that drastically. 30 was probably a little excessive for planning a landing, but that's okay. I think 20 was probably more apt. That's all good, though. It's all good. Oh, I have like 2,500. So what's cool about that, right? And I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit on an unrelated game, so apologies if you're like, I only play Kerbal Space Program and I care about no other games. But I play DayZ with a buddy named Morgan, who you will be introduced to in a video coming up if you so inclined to watch that. If you don't already watch the Running Mans, that is, then you already know Morgan. Morgan? Anyway, he has thousands of hours in DayZ, and I have like, I think 800. So the disparity in our... it's not even... skill's not even the right word, right? Like, I have a hard time talking about skill in a video game, but you know what I mean. Familiarity, game sense, whatever buzzword you want to use for gaming. But yeah, to see, like, to match even you and I up, you know, a 200 versus 2,500, rendezvous, docking, all this stuff that's like an event to me even is just, you know, like second nature to you, especially because you're like, I also have my engines fail because it's too boring to just do all the normal stuff. No, that's awesome though. It speaks volumes really to what type of game it is and the audience it attracts. So that's cool. All right, we're creeping on our 1 second burn. I will stay pretty close to that because I just want to get our trajectory going here and then manage it on the way down. You know, like you're supposed to. That's probably good enough because I'm going to kill... I don't really descend a lot though. That wasn't planned the best. Yeah, that wasn't the best planning. I probably should have really gotten over the crater and then slowed down a touch. But that's okay. I think we're going to be up in somewhere in that type of area. What are we looking at surface-wise? Pretty fast. Let's cut that out. Get our lights on. Throw our gear out just so we don't forget any of this good stuff. The sound it makes is always so cool. So my plan here was to intentionally make that a little wider. So if we do happen to plop over, you know, either the engines will catch it on the offsides for the gear, you know, there'll be something that saves us. But I think we're okay. This isn't that tall of a lander, at least from my experience, we'll call it. All right, we're at 31. Let's accelerate a little bit, see where we get and how much we speed up here. Okay, really not that excessively. Let's get just to kill our horizontal velocity and see what kind of how quickly we can slow that rate down. I would like it to be quite a bit more vertical, so let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, we can kill that off pretty quick. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then as we kind of see, I'm assuming we can probably see which crater that is. Maybe not. Kind of hard to tell. We definitely don't want to get into the big boy. This might be this crater. That would make sense to me, but I'm not sure if that's what that is. We'll see what's up. I'm still horrible at rendezvous. I'm good at docking now, though. I think that docking is easier for me. Now, I haven't done it in this session, right? Like this, I don't know what you want to call it, since I've started playing again. So I could be spitting a big game and then doing a terrible job at it anyway. Switch altimeter to ground. Sid, thank you for that. And thank you for pointing silly things out like that to me in general, because you were the first person to listen to my gripe about that. We're still in space near moon. Okay, so we don't need that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Docking, I feel like, is more intuitive to me. I don't know why. But doing the rendezvous is more like the orbital mechanic type stuff. So that's kind of, I guess, gets lost on me a little bit. Alright, let's start killing this a little bit. We'll just follow that path down, and if we need to, if we're getting too close to what's probably that crater. Yeah, okay, so this entire kind of depressed area here is this guy. So this one, which we're set to go right into, there's that. So I think we'll be okay. We'll be on kind of the north, you know, the upper rim of this. So I think that'll be alright. We'll just keep an eye on Delta V. We're slowing down relatively nicely. We're too fast, obviously, but, you know, we can always pop that bad boy up there. Yeah, I think docking, for me, just the translation, you know, like to stop momentum and then re-engage on which direction you want to go makes sense. And that's the same stuff I should be able to use for rendezvous, but for some reason, well, you saw last week. Okay. Let's make sure we're not going to go into that crater. So let's kill that real quick. Steepen this up a little bit, which obviously isn't the best. Oh, we're gonna stay steep, huh? There. Okay. I think that's the only thing we can do. Yeah. That's not too bad. This worries me a little bit, but I think we'll be decent, I'll call it. I don't think we're going to be, like, stellar. We're not going to go home with a ton of leftover, but... just kind of have to feather it on in there. I don't know what the actual number is, but I feel like if I've got 800, I'll be happy with that. And I think we'll be tight, but we should be all right. I don't know if we can pull this off on the way down here. This is too many things at once for me. No, same stuff. Okay. Focus. Focus. Getting closer. Yeah, Delta V's looking good. There we go. That's a better rate to be able to see it slowly decrease. Let's go back into stability. There's the ticket. Take it a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Oop, cut it out. Too ambitious. All right, here we are. Now, I don't know if these legs... No, okay. They don't have any, like, grippy type goodness. We didn't need the lights. Thank you for what you do. Let's do some experiments from the Highlands. Okay, so this is... Like, I don't know if that's a moonstone out there. I do need to take a look around at what I can potentially... We'll kick Jeb out, and that shouldn't be too far away. We'll see if we can go do some collection. Log temp. All the fantastic science. 100. Pretty happy with all that. We just crew reported, right? We did not, so I'm glad I checked. Bob, get out. Get you an EVA report. We're gonna have you detach. Do you have your RCS on? You do now. And then get you a surface sample. Okay, I was about to say, please use your jetpack. 120 for that, that's awesome. Get you a leap into the air. Get over there. Grab that ladder. Anytime now. I'm always so afraid that they're gonna just like bowl the craft over as soon as they just get close to it and just absolutely knock the whole thing over. Let's collect all this good stuff. Oh, you're too far away. I was like, why are you incapable of doing what your sole purpose, the #1 reason we brought you along? Take that is what we're looking for. I think we'll be okay. I don't think anything's going to overwrite, but let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's exactly the type of thing that I'm worried about, especially on our little slanted landing spot here. I think we'll be fine, though. We'll be just fine. Okay, so where... It looks like over that way, so uphill. There's one that way, too. Yeah, okay, they kind of de-render when I zoom out like that. I don't know if that's just like, you know, like a little asset for a crater to just add some more texture to it, or if that's actually a moonstone, or if that's what this is. That's what that looks like. Can we get... No, we can't. Okay. So from the ladder, basically off the gear, looks like the best spot for one. Jetpack around for one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's just go find one. No, stop it. Jab the big fatty. I'll just let go and let you do whatever, because if you fall over, I'm not too worried about it. If that falls over, we're going to have to ski slope it off the edge. Okay, so the one we kind of tracked down was kind of like this way-ish. Let's go see what's up. There it is there. Now, we already have an EVA report, but I don't know if you can get a separate one from being kind of just above. Okay, so that is different. That's good to know. I know this makes you heavy too, though, so I'll be interested to see if I can even pick it up. Alright, slow yourself. Slow yourself. Climb. Let's see. Yeah, I don't pick up moonstone. Okay, there we go. I don't have any inventory space, so I probably should have dropped his parachute out. Did that... Okay, it does count it. Keep my moonstone. No, I can't imagine that is... There you go. That is going to be any... I imagine this is all highland, so I don't think doing more surface sample-y type goodies will do us any good. Yay! Stone collected. Now I'm curious on the little cratery bit, but again, I feel like that's just a visual little, hey, there's a crater here, just so it doesn't look as plain as possible. I don't remember what that other mod is called that kind of like texturizes planetary surfaces and lunar surfaces and stuff. That does look really cool, but I don't like how it doesn't have like collision to it. So it's like purely, it's just strictly visual. which it looks better, obviously, but I guess if it doesn't have function to it, I didn't really even look into it. Clearly, you know, as exciting as this lunar surface looks. Let's take a peek. That is a little further, because that was one of those craters versus there's one there. Bear with me. Let's go satisfy some curiosities here. Wasn't there a way? If you run out of jetpack gas, you're cooked, I think. So it's really funny. I literally said, isn't there a way? Because I was like, how do you look at that? There we go. Okay. Oh, no, solid. We didn't even go through half of it yet. So me doing silliness is all good. Like I said, I don't think this does anything. I don't think it's of any significance whatsoever. Because I can't imagine this surface sample is any different. Yeah, just from the highlands. So that's not different than the surface sample we got at the other one. Plant a flag on it. You know what? You're right. We're in a different biome. We might as well. Elder Bee's Crater. I mean, the site name is better. Boom. You know what? That's selfish. That's selfish. There we go. That's how we do things. Okay, I'm sorry that your flag is not centered or parallel with your crater, Sid, but that's your crater. Parry gets something cool on Minmus. Jetpack, please. There we go. Away! Alright. Well, we've landed on the moon and completed all of our onboard experiments much faster than we could even rendezvous with a lunar orbiting ship last week. So doing better already. So I think to keep my shorter time frame for tonight for working tomorrow and also accomplishing good things, we'll get home, use our science, and then I think we'll do some plane stuff. Because I do need to get a science plane eventually, not just, you know, a silly little plane that I poop around with. Space plane, not yet. I don't have the parts. We could get a suborbital plane, but space plane is just a touch out of reach at the moment. But I like it. I like the ambition. It sounds cooler too. Grab. Board. Don't fall over. I just right-clicked on my second monitor and it totally went out of the game for me. So I was like, oh my god, what just happened? Also discover all the other landing pads with the plane. Yeah, that is something we do need to do. I think... Oh, I guess the island airfield technically gets discovered, but... I was going to say, I think we did one, didn't we? Well, yeah. Not that that's exciting. Okay. Let's take a chance and rotate a little bit here. Because we're going to tilt that way. So that's north. So we want... We're going to the east. So let's get... Right? No. We want to go this way. Doot, 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 doot. Not scary at all as we teeter down the crater here. But yeah, we should be laying over to the east. Yeah. All right. 795. So... I'd love if we could do this in a single shot. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's try it. All right, we've got both our boys on board. We've collected and gathered our science. I wish I could just do a quick hop and get that kind of high above bit that we just got. But it's okay. There'll be many more trips back here, I'm sure. There's one on the beach close by somewhere. Yeah, there's like, what, like 4 of them? 5 of them, I think, with the DLC. You only need like 8 kilometers of altitude, technically. Close on fuel. Very close on fuel, yeah. I kind of want to hit this in one shot. But anyway, let's just get a decent apoapsis and then see what happens. I'm not even going to throttle all the way up. We'll just get going here. Bye, Sid's Crater. Thanks for the cool stay. Oh my goodness. So, I don't think we're going to make this. Yeah, this is going to be interesting, to say the least. As long as we can get... No, we're done. We are done. As long as we can get into an orbit, though. Oh, man, our best... I don't know why I let it go 60. That was excessive. Our pilot, too, though. We're in rough shape. We are in rough shape. What can we do with 150? Probably nothing. Nothing. Well... It seems next week's goal is going to be building a ship with a probe and 2 seats on it. I feel like I can get that knocked out relatively quick. The inclination kind of sucks. It sucks how I was so far out here. He needs a higher parry FS. I'm guessing we're going periapsis for sure. But yeah, otherwise we'd have this other cool landing spot. Or what we'll call a crash zone over there. I'm not gonna... Yeah, I will. I have to. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna wait for him to get all the way to the apoapsis. But I kind of have to. Just to make sure that I don't end up with some wonky bit here. Let's actually kill that. What does that look like if we were to blast it? Because we're already at 15. I don't need to get that high. So what if we were to just hit it over here? The other thing is I don't want it to be like... Yeah, no, we can't. We need it to be as circular as possible because we've got a rendezvous with this thing, so... We need a 60 on the other side there. Easy, Tiger. How close are they? Pretty darn close. So let's just go with that. That is a little bit of a bummer, though. I definitely overestimated our... Or I guess underestimated our requirements. I didn't really overestimate any abilities or anything, but... I'm assuming that's going to be close enough. Close enough. Okay, I was about to say, why are you being strange? Because you were in a menu, that's why. Well, our first requirement for a rescue. It's been 52 minutes to get to this point. I feel like we probably can pull this off. I think we can. We'll see what happens here. You know it's been intense when we're almost an hour in and I still have like more than half a T-Mug left. I almost went, this doesn't matter, let me just burn now. No, precision is important. We're still gonna have a little bit here too left over, but that's realistically that's okay and preferable. 4, 5, 60. Okay. As circular as I'm gonna get this thing, 112 left. I can't imagine that's enough to even get me close to anything. Yeah, okay. Well, boys, enjoy your new temporary home. It's a good thing. This is all going to tell me that I can get it again, even though we've already done it. It's a good thing we don't have any of the life support mods on, so... Alright, I don't know why I'm still like hanging out with them and looking at them like they have any chance of anything other than us going with push it with Bob's jetpack. I've seen a lot of that when somebody gets stranded that they're like, just push it. Like, no way. There's no way that I have the patience for that. It probably doesn't take that long, but it also makes it a little more gamey. Adds to the gamesmanship if we just go rescue it. I've had it work before. I apparently, like, there's a, you know, very high success rate for doing so. Oh, I hate this craft, though. I really do. Because I also don't need... Okay, it doesn't weigh that much, though. I was going to say, I don't need, like, an actual capsule. I need, you know, just something to fly us up there, but I think that's okay. Let's call it the Moon Rescue. You not good at stuff. Because we can take all the science goodies out. We can take the lander. So I know this is awful, guys. I know it wasn't obviously good at what it did, but we know it will get us to where we need to pick these guys up. So all I'm going to do is take the landy stuff off of it. Put a lander can on the bottom of the OG pod. Yeah, that only holds one, though. Yeah. Yeah, we could do... That's okay. That's okay. I'd rather have it look a little crazy. And we'll do the probe, like, in the place of where this is. Oh, the probe is going to be a problem with communication, though, too. One to fly to for the stranded, you're right. You are right. Because we have Valentina that can... Oh, man, she has no experience. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the... It's the same thing, right? This is for a crew. I don't think I have any. I think this is the only probe I've got. Yeah. Okay. I like your idea better. We're gonna do some drogues and stuff like that. Just because we're gonna make sure we make this bad boy. Boop. Okay, we don't need those. We'll keep that. This is gonna look worse than any of the other pods, but it's okay. That's gonna actually lighten us up a little bit too. We're just taking Valentina. Let's put the other chutes on. Drogues. 2. Stage those separately too. There we go. Alright, staging. Kick those out. Got that. Staging. The staging. Yeah, that's when we're done anyway. Okay. Moon Rescue. Staging is good. Crew double check. We've got no extras, just survivability things. Let's make sure, not that this matters, but we'll just put Valentina. Can we actually pick her seat? Yeah, okay. We'll put her in the can just because that'll be cooler. The boys pod. The ladies pod. And that probe is kind of poo. I think that's terrible, right? Like, I think it's, well, realistically, Valentina's terrible too. She has no experience. So I think this is going to be about as good as she is, realistically. So the only thing that this does is potentially strand our only other pilot out in space. Yeah, I blame you two for making me hate this, hate this craft. She's better than it. Okay, well that's good news. Let's go. Let's try this. We did under an hour to get there. We've got a lot less to do just to get lined up. Let's go make it happen. The probe can't SAS. Okay, yeah, it's just like as you unlock further probes, they get more of the nodes and stuff like that that they can do, right? That makes sense. Okay, Valentina, it's up to you. Please save us. Yeah, she can't retrograde or prograde. So we're just gonna have to point at it and hope. Oh, she can't do much of anything? The other one didn't wobble like this when Jeb flew it, and all we've done here, that's gonna crack, and I think. I don't think this is gonna end well, but it's okay. We can revert. We're just not gonna revert the fellas. Okay, let's get this to settle down a little bit here. Too fast, speeding up too much. And I think I had tipped the last one over a little too aggressively, so let's maybe learn from our previous mistakes. Okay. Rocky start off the pad honestly made me a little concerned about this success here. But let's see how we do. Alright, stage away. Waste of fuel because we're too heavy and not good at this. Let's try and correct that a little bit. It's not really going to matter at this point, especially because the fellas are out there on a somewhat off inclination anyway. But if nothing else, if we can get her there and back, she is going to be quite experienced. Because I don't think we've flown her at all after her... where did we rescue her from? Was it the moon? I don't remember now. Okay, clearing out the atmosphere. Let's speed up. Yeah, if I can just get a little... I almost need those boosters to have a touch more, so we don't have to ditch the second and like the 2 and 3 engine so early. So I do have to play around with that. This design, I mean, quite a bit. You know, this stuff is gross, and then obviously it's not built up properly. But we'll get there. We'll make it happen. Okay, we'll blast out the last bit of fuel out of this, stage it up, and then coast it out. Okay. Looking pretty decent. Well, this isn't really going to matter. I'm going to have to start burning, like, nowish, I think. Yeah. More or less. Good enough. Well, burn time of... not much. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Jumping the gun a bit. Now, what's going to be interesting... well, it won't be a big deal. Inclination change isn't a big thing. And normal, anti-normal, manually. I mean, we just point up or down and hit it, so we should be okay. I don't think the no maneuver autopilot, I guess, or alignment. I don't actually know what you call that when they can select the different nodes or directions, I suppose. I don't think that'll be too bad of a hindrance. We should be all good. I definitely don't think I've ever had to do a rescue mission immediately following another mission because I had the means. So if you have the means to go rescue immediately, that only spells out to me that you didn't do everything you could have done to make it a success in the first place, but that's all right. Yeah, so this will be the same kind of thing. We're going to ditch this halfway to the acceleration to the moon. So reusing the same lander, or the same everything, to go rescue these guys, just that much more junk. Junk in space. Guess I can be peeping on the right thing. I don't like how much you have to spend in the map mode though. Like it's, I don't know what it is, it's so much cooler when you're actually watching your craft do its thing. Good enough. Alright fellas, where are you hiding? It's funny, we're 2 degrees off already. That's okay. I'm not obviously going to adjust that because we don't care about inclination to the moon. Get on over there. I think I'm too far off that way, maybe. No? There we go. Hope that's worse. They're at a 60, so let's shoot for that straight out and then just adjust from there. Can I? There's no way I can. Yeah, I need more. I was about to say, can I make it hit the surface and then adjust, but no. Well, I don't know why I'm fine-tuning that. She's... it's going to be challenging enough to fine-tune her stuff there. Oh no, Pear's back. Why is there a rescue ship? What did you do? How did you know this is a rescue ship? I was gone for a bit. Were you gone for the bit where I said rescue ship? This is a rescue ship. As she's doing her thing, we got the fellas back into orbit, and that's it. They have like 112 Delta V left. And I don't think it was a technique thing. I could have gotten into a lower orbit. That's probably the biggest issue. Why we were quite so low on Delta V, but it was close anyway. So I think I could have gotten into a lower orbit to do the landing, and then we would have had that much more Delta V. But realistically, I don't know what I did wrong. I didn't do it right. Let's go with that. I think this design, my design, was kind of the biggest issue, if you will. But that's okay. 2 moon missions in 1 session? What more could you ask for? Except maybe they be done right the first time. Irrelevance. All of it irrelevance. I feel like it's, you said rescue mission right when I got back. Well, you weren't supposed to come back right when that happened. It's just a little bit longer for you to be gone. She was lonely on Kerbal and wanted to go meet her friends. That's all this boils down to. Never mind rescue stuff. Doing this without any type of assistance, I'm reminded of like Apollo 13 when they're doing that, like keep the, I don't remember if it's the Earth or the Moon, keep it in the window, you know? Just do your maneuver based on it, looking at it in the window. That's what it feels like. So this is a giveaway too. I almost wish you could pin the spots where the communication goes to, so you could just like track those down. Yeah, that may be the one you were talking about. Oh, that's not close, but please stage. Why aren't you staging? Spacebar that doesn't want a spacebar. Okay, I was talking about how I wish you could not be in the map screen, but then I ignored that you kind of still have to. Going for 60. Are we gonna pull this off? Close enough, because we might need to obviously adjust that anyway. We're not on the best, that's not the worst inclination, and we're gonna have a decent amount to mess around with too, so I think we'll be okay. I probably could adjust that now. I kind of want to play with it real quick, just to see if I can influence that a little bit from here. Let's set them as a target, because I think that will tell me. I don't think it'll tell you until you're, yeah. But at least we can get the difference here and see what if we can impact it at all. It's going to be a lot less efficient though. So let's get in the orbit first, and then worry about that after the fact. You know, do it the way you're supposed to do it. What do we got here? You got where you can't really see it because it's hidden in all the other garbage. 80. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't pay attention to what I was doing when I was messing around with that, so let's fix that. No need to be screwing it up already. Good enough. That's fine. We'll stay inside of their orbit then. The inclination change, I think, is going to jack us up quite a bit anyway. Let's just maybe keep an eye on Delta V for the way home this time, so we don't, you know, strand all our pilots out in space. What did I say we were at? 43? That'll do. That will do. Where are we going to be? It's not like it matters. I can't align it to anything anyway. Imagine if, like, a space program were really dependent on the skills of its astronauts and not just, like, you know, the technology and the people backing them up, blah, 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 blah. And you send out your best pilot first, got stranded, and then they're like, all right, new Kerbal Nut, it's up to you now. If you can't do this with your limited abilities, you're no backup whatsoever because you can't communicate back with the Space Center, then you're all going to die. Good luck. Here's your capsule with 2 empty seats. We hope you can make this happen. It's kind of a bummer I wasn't established earlier, since we're passing the old descending node. Why? What is possibly making you swing around and, like, readjust on that? No, stop it. She's like, I don't want to go over there. I want to go over here. Okay. I have to stop just kind of winging it and actually be as precise as we need to be here. .43, yeah. That's going down, so we'll keep an eye on that too. Oh, that's garbage. But here we are. Let's do a little bit of adjustment here. Where'd you go? Where did you go? You already set my target. I don't know why I'm... Okay, I was about to say, is she even going to be able to see what's what because of her limited skill? And yes, yes she can. What's that doing for our numbers? Not terrible. It's just going to be a little difficult to bring it all back in. I don't know what part of me thought this was a good thing to do in this session and try and attempt to get done early tonight. That is not how this is going to work out. All right, let's go get over here. Fix our inclination, then we'll fix our orbit. We obviously need to catch up to them, so we'll stay lower than they are, which means I need to bring this side in by quite a bit, actually. I probably should have worked on that first, but can deal with 1/10 of a degree, but I think we're gonna have to. Okay, let's kick that away. If I slow down here, periapsis there. I don't want that. Okay, we can do a radial here. Let's try that first. So I want to go like opposite of, yeah, okay. I think that's going to be what we want to shift this bad boy over. Let's see what the effect is here. No, that should be going the opposite way. So it should be the other radial. I think this is, I don't know which one's out and in, especially not without having the buttons, but there we go. That's doing what we want it to, though. So once again, we've planned a craft to rendezvous and didn't put RCS on it. So well done. Well done. All right, that's a little bit lower than us. We're a little bit higher than he is over here. Let's clear some of this stuff that we don't technically care about so much anymore. Get that out of the way for a second to see what we're dealing with. So we'll go over to this bit. We'll burn retrograde and try and match these up a little bit better and then worry about actually catching up. I think I'll just have one side be inside, is it kind of like we are right now, and we'll match these up as best as we can. Actually, let's go ahead and stop that right now. Yeah, their apoapsis to put our periapsis there, I think is what we're going to want to do here. Let's go the long way around here. You're doing great, Valentina. Doing great. And then when we get over here, we'll push it back up. Yeah, I was going to say our distance is going to be ridiculous for now. We'll get there. We will get there. I hope. I think it'll be all right. We just need to make sure we don't use a ton of fuel for this. Okay, I think we're going to roll with that and just see what this looks like after the first tick. 332 kilometers. Okay, so we're getting, what, 27? 27 kilometers closer with each rotation here. 230. We'll do some orbit adjustments once we're within like 50, maybe? Should be 55. Okay, so that means the next one over should be about as close as we're going to get, and we'll try and match speed and such. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Without doing much at all, that's pretty significant, I think. 6K, 11.5 meters per second difference. I almost, like, we legitimately could just leave them be and just match speed when we get around there. I do want to tighten that up a little bit better. Let's do some real short burns here, because I think I need to get basically slowed a little down. Let's try this. Yeah, perfect. Okay, it was perfect. We need to keep passing it and then adjusting it, otherwise it's going to keep telling me something different here. Yeah, because that's going to keep drawing them. Okay, now it's too much. So periapsis matched apoapsis, so that's going to be when we're at our slowest, 5 kilometer separation. What does our orbit look like? Let's clear that. Too much going on there. go away. Okay, so we could raise the orbit a little bit on that side, and that should close that in by, you know, close to a kilometer or so. But if not, as long as we do kick them out and send them over to the ship on that one, I think that's okay. As long as that number keeps reducing as these catch up, that one's what we want. Yeah, it jumped pretty quick. So that's going to be a little tough. I think I'm going to have to do some shenanigans on the other side. I actually want to be pushing the orbit up, and that might be what's the problem here. Yeah, there we go. 900. We're just going to kind of keep trying to influence this as best we can. Again, 1.1's not a big deal. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that at 1.1 and having to do 2 Kerbals, that's pushing them apart. Don't want to do anything with inclination. Oh, crap. The time it's going to take to get them over to the ship is what I'm worried about there. 0.9. Okay. So we can do 900 meters. It's not terrible. Close enough. I'm going to stop messing with it. And then when we get around here again, we're going to have to match speed and then pretty much call it good. I'm a little tempted even to kick them out much earlier than that point, like kind of halfway before and half. So we'll see how much time it takes. Let's get over here and see what our distance looks like between the two. 1250 meters per second, so enough delta V as well to get everybody home. With all the, I cannot forget to have, I never remember if it's Bill or Bob, to get the science out of the capsule. That's that's the biggest thing, because if we don't grab that and put it in the new capsule, the rescue capsule, then it was all for naught. Okay, 3.6. And 10 minutes away. So let's do like half-ish. Okay, yeah, we're gonna be just fine. So if that was a 5-minute span, and this is 5 minutes, like you have an easy 10 minutes before you start like getting a little concerned about the distance there. What's our relative speed? Can you tell just by this? No. What about? No, okay. It's fine. Space Center. Well, we can't revert her now, so I just realized that. I thought I could put the focus over on them, but apparently I can't. It's so funny that they're in like the same capsule. Okay, so we're gonna send Bob first. So we got Bob. We're gonna take all the experiments. Like, oh, good luck, Bob. We want to do this. Get sped up a little bit here. Hey, thanks, CJ. I appreciate that. Okay, time-wise, too, I'm feeling pretty good. We are a little closer to that than I wanted to be. All the tracking station back and forth wasn't the best. I'm kind of tempted to go back and tell Jeb to get out and do the same thing. But that also makes me a little nervous on missing the mark. Let's just speed him up a little bit. And go slightly lower, just in case we do schmack into it. Ten seconds. Okay, slowing was not as easy as I thought it was going to be here. Did we even get on the proper side? Not quite. Oh, where's the ladder? Where's the ladder? There it is. Come on, grab it. Get in there. Okay, one good. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go back to the Space Center. I'm sure there's a button that I can switch it up and actually control the craft. But since that was a big pain in the butt, I know Escape and Tracking Center would have done it too, but or Tracking Station. Bracket, thank you. Yeah, I knew there was, I know there's a way to step back and focus too, but I always blow that one as well. Okay, we are getting closer, so we're in good time here. Jeb, the experiments are out. Let's do one last little goofy attempt at science. We're still getting closer, so we can say goodbye to Moonlander Deuce. Thank you for doing mostly what you were supposed to do. Off we go. Okay, now, provided there's not catastrophic failure on the way home, which this is the easiest part, I think we're in good shape. We will get all the science home. We got all our guys home. We have space junk to clean up anyway, so adding more to it, it's not a big deal. We've got to redesign a new craft next week, though. That is, that's going to be priority number one. Obviously, we can get to Minmus with this thing just because it's that much easier, but I'd like to take the success from this one, what little there may be, and reduce the failures. Need a bigger lander stage. Yeah, I want to go with like a 3 tank around the outside of a core and like do a pretty big beefy lander stage. But obviously my goofy pencil thin rest of the stages isn't going to support that. So next week will be a redesign week. Maybe a bigger rocket in general if you want a single rocket to do it. I do. Yeah, I do. And I think you're right. I think I tried to do... Are they the Rockomax tanks? I'm not sure. Whatever the bigger tanks are. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things I need to do to improve on this. Again, I think every launch, every craft I make is slightly better, but they all have their own problems. So we'll fix them all up next week. This week, let's just get our crew and our science home safe, and it'll be all good. I use normal tank size. As you've seen, I don't use any specifics. We wing everything here. Okay. So when we get over here-ish, no, there-ish. No. I think we were right the first time. There we go. That inclination looks a lot better too. That's fine. We've got so much delta V, I don't care what that looks like. We can clean that up after the fact. Thank goodness Jeb is back on the controls. Not that Valentina doesn't know what she's doing, but she needs some practice, and she's certainly got it this time around. What I probably should have done, and not that it matters, and it's too late now anyway, but should have probably just gone on like another flyby with the two of them in the capsule to get her the experience necessary, but I think this is going to do the exact same thing, essentially. Blessing in disguise. The entire exercise was intentional to give Valentina some experience. You can trust me. I swear. I keep being paranoid that I've like left somebody behind, which I don't know why, but not that I've ever done that in the training missions, in the what's it, the tutorials, missions, training, I forget which one, but good enough. Let's say goodbye to the moon. We're gonna see you certainly when we get the claw. I'm gonna have to cheat and look up where the biomes are so I can target those a little better, because I forget. I don't know if it was lowlands in the crater and then we just did highlands, but we'll want to make sure next time we head out there we achieve some science in some new spots. But like I said, since we can kind of make it to the moon on current technology, I know we can. It's just what we're building that needs to change. Next up is Minmus for sure. So first is going to be redesigning a lander, period. But I think we'll send it to Minmus as kind of like the trial, if you will. I'm just going to skim in there because I know we're going to be going quite fast. I say skim in there and then that's relatively deep, but... So Sid, bracket for changing craft. I'm tabbing to change focus. Is there a way to tab opposite and go like, you know what I mean? Like cycle through the focus in the opposite direction, essentially is what I'm asking. Minmus is a bit easier to land on, less gravity, I think, but it is further away. Yeah, and then the inclination change is a little bit of a different thing too, right? But all in all, I think because the gravity is so low, I think it's negligible. I don't think it really matters. All right, we got 786. Can we use all of that to drop this? Not enough. So we'll... What are we at right now? 63. We'll drop this a little bit further. Ooh, not that much. Let's not do that. That's how you burn up on a heavy craft. Yeah, let's do like a 50. And then when we get to periapsis, we'll just retrograde burn the whole way in. Okay. I think we're in pretty good shape. I don't foresee, by moon, any issues. I've said that before and then forgot to deploy the chutes, so we'll see. But I think we'll be all right. I think we're looking good. All right, close enough to periapsis. Let's go retro. Get ourselves slowed down, especially going into orbit here. Drop these bad boys in a good spot. Cool. Periapsis, the ground. Just do a little diving and then come back out there. As long as you don't skip off the rocks. If the bottom of your craft is flat enough, you might be able to hop and then jump back up into orbit. Yeah, that's funny. If I remember, I'm not going to look up where these are. I think it'll be cool to actually fly around, especially when we get something that'll fly like at quite a good clip, as they say. And you know, just kind of keep these in mind as we see them right before we do those missions. But you know, launch out from the closest airfield and then make it into those. But yeah, I don't want to look them up, much like the rest of the stuff that I don't look up. Okay, let's lose our stage here. Down we go. I think it would be quite eerie as you're sitting there in the capsule on the way down, especially the longer that you're up on a mission up there, and you're so used to, like, I'm making assumptions here, but I assume there are very minimal noises. You know, like when you're in your ship or your station or whatever, and you're cycling things and turning things on and off and things are running, you know, there's going to be some type of droning noise or like constant noise or whatever. But for the most part, I imagine it's very, very quiet. And then this has got to be like extremely loud. Even inside your, you know, your protected capsule, if you will. debris. Gotta right ourselves. We're not looking all crazy. Back the way we came. Was that air? Yeah, we're not gonna be able to see it, but looks to the west, southwest, kind of. Yeah, it's on the other side of those mountains. Oh no, it's not. It's like in those. It was in there somewhere, I think. As always, we'll kick our shield off. That's gonna bite me in the behind at some point. Oh no. You can do it. Turn around. We're lawn darting right now. Come on. Swing it around. Swing it around. The G's are gonna knock these guys out. Drogue shoots. Yeah, it'll take care of it. It'll straighten it all out. It's just always funny to literally be like launching yourself at the ground. We're still slowing down, so it's fine. What are we looking at? Oh, we're pretty much sea level here anyway. Plane stuff. Yeah, I wish. I don't even have to get up like that early tomorrow for work. But just to get me all winding down and prepping up, we'll unfortunately call it after this. And we'll do, well, let's go look at some science stuff too, since we've got a capsule that's relatively stacked. Grasslands. We might be able to get, oh, we don't have any other science stuff. We'll do some EVA and surface sample and all that good stuff. See if we can get something out of this landing. But yeah, that's what the science plane needs to take place for, to make sure that we're all good. I think this should set at 1,000 so we can do our thing. It never fails. Every single time the heat shield exploding makes me kind of like question what just happened. What did I screw up this time? I like the difference in background. It's kind of funny that what is it, free VA, where you can like walk around inside the capsules, wasn't a thought in the stock game. But I think it adds a little bit of immersion, but it's kind of hard to be immersed when you're looking at this most of the time, you know? Like, if you want to be immersed, you want to be the pilot or, you know, the scientist or whatever on the mission. And here, you're more like the mission control, where you're just kind of sending them instructions, you know? So I don't really lose immersion by not getting them out of the seat and stuff like that. I feel like it would kind of be repetitive, but who knows? All right, that might have been the heat shield. The first one might have been the stage there. Sometimes I play only first person. I think that would be cool. What was the button on that too? Well, not that, because that's going to make everybody sick. There we go. Yeah, it would be cool too, especially when you're doing landing and stuff. Oh, that's neat. That's a cool view from the lander can. There we go. I was about to say, I don't know how to fix that, and we're going to watch it out the window. If it, let's watch out the window anyway. Yeah, there we go. It's nice with flight stick. Yeah, you had said that before. Because Valentina will be the first to die, so we might as well get it from her perspective. Let's be positive about this, huh? That looks quite quick, though. Yeah, that was very jarring. If you get motion sick, that might have done it for you. All right, we did it. We've rescued our crew. We're gonna kick Bob out just in case any of this will do anything for us. Grasslands, we've got a little bit of something. We'll do a surface sample for 9 science. Let's say if you like dirt. Yep, looks like dirt. Bob, get your behind back in there. Recover that bad boy. Short mission long, success. Let's review our glorious science that only cost a lot of money and left a lot of debris. That's a good thing to see, though. We're at the stage where everything costs 160. So looking at the fact that we can do 4 things brings a smile to my face. 1,400 funds recovered is always good since we're pretty low on funding. Well, we keep sending up 2 craft for 1. Valentina is the same level as Jeb, which is so fantastic. We need to start flying them. I think we're going to start doing that, honestly, just for rescue mission sake, because that was a little jarring. It shouldn't have been, because I could just point it at retrograde or prograde and do its thing. But yeah, I think the next thing to do is to do flybys with some science that you don't have to recover, and then we can send, I meant to do these 2, and then we can send Bob with to recover science experiments after the fact, after we've already done that. Nobody likes to see a space center during the nighttime. Contract completion. Bring the moonstone. That's a good amount of cash. Happy with that. And recovered science from the moon. So we, all in all, it was a good day. We did both of our missions, so we have nothing active. That's a good place to be in. We got a bunch of science. We missed the docking with Kerbal, so, you know, something above Kerbal. So hopefully that comes back again. But this is our next thing anyway. Head to Minmus and pass by it. That's funny, they missed the I there. Minmus. Is it Minmus? I always thought it was Minimus. Anyway. Interesting. Minmus. Okay. My mistake. We're one-way trips. Yeah, so this was the plan anyway, right? So let's just go ahead and accept that for next time. That'll give us a little bit of a better clue. Rescue from the orbit, repair satellite in orbit, attach new part. This stuff is all gone further out. We had attach a part in the orbit in Kerbal, which obviously would have been better, but that's okay. It'll get us better at rendezvous too. I don't think the rendezvous on that rescue was too bad. I think that worked out pretty well, actually. I don't know if that was luck, us getting a little better, or both, but I'll take it either way. All right, let's go look at some science, see what we're probably looking at for next week. Again, 160 is what we're looking at for everything. We don't have any solar panels yet, so I'm thinking we're going to have to go with this, not only to get to here, but even the basic solar panel we don't have at this point. Do we have everything we need to start doing some surface experiments? There's the power. I don't think we have the control station. Weather analyzer. Obviously, that's only for places like here. Unmanned electronics. Yeah, we might already have, and we need that too. Yeah, so these don't do a lot of good unless we go recover it until we get to this stage. So I'm not worried about the surface experiments yet. What else do we have around here? Scanning arm eventually, but I'm not too concerned yet. That's going to be obviously for when we do some stations. A 3-seater would be nice. That would have been come in handy for what we just did. Integrated RCS, okay. That'll be cooler to do a little lander. Honestly, I think I'm gonna focus a little bit on plane stuff, realistically, because I can go grab a lot more science with a science plane. Air brakes is a big one. I'm not even gonna question that. We're gonna grab that. I might regret that, doing that without thinking through all this, but starting to get some of the cooler parts for some space plane goodies. I never really played with actuators on my previous playthroughs, but I think that's something I want to play with this time, with stuff coming out of service bays. And is that a thing here? Where was the service bay bit? Yeah, cargo bay. I think I had done like a little bit of stuff coming out of cargo bays, but not anything too in depth. So that'll be something we play with for sure. I looked last time very briefly for the claw. That's not gonna be fuel. I'm gonna have to track that down because that's something that I'm gonna need sooner than later, because I'm gonna keep leaving space junk and it's gonna drive me nuts. I might even go recover space junk off stream whenever we do like 1 or 2 of them, because there's quite a few of them now. Anyway, we've grabbed air brakes. so we know what's up with that. We need to start doing some RCS stuff because we've got some docking coming. And then I'm not even going to worry about heavy rocketry yet. I was alluding to doing that like 2 or 3 sessions ago. Need to get better at building the craft first, so let's focus on that. I lied. Let's go fly plane real quick. I'm not going to do any new designs. We'll just grab... Was it this one? Yeah, I think this one was actually pretty good. And we'll throw our air brakes on those, which are large and ridiculous. Not that that's, you know, abnormal for any of our designs here. I have chutes on there, and I don't like that, but we'll keep them on there. That's not a great place for air brakes, but we're gonna throw them on there for right now and see what happens. So not as exciting of plane stuff as we usually do with redesigns and actually launching something, but we'll do our usual flyover to, first off, can I move control? Yeah, okay, nothing's gonna crack off there. Do our usual flyover to the island airfield, and I'll yak at you about what's going on the channel and whatnot. I do want to try... Okay, it's not terrible. It'll do. See if... I don't know why you keep turning that way. Okay. Irrelevant. Irrelevant why you keep doing that. I'll show you why I keep doing that. How about we do that again, huh? Alright, so we'll do our flight over the island airfield. I'll yak at you about what's going on. Nothing super new. Just wanted to kind of announce upcomings, I guess. Would like to return to Saturday's E. I think I don't have a lot of folks I know that are interested in it. Oh man, I can't. I keep taking off with this front gear that's fixed, and I don't know why I haven't fixed it yet. So before I continue, let's where's our retractable? I gotta change it. I gotta change it. I also don't like how like canted that is. There we go. That's like the first time it kind of looks like it's supposed to. That's maybe slightly excessive also. Let's pull that bad boy up. I don't even think we need that large of a disparity between the nose and the mains, but that's okay. Alright. Try this again. Yeah, on Saturdays I think I'll start playing DayZ again. I've considered popping some more streams on during the week because I've been playing a lot of it anyway. Oh yeah, that's a little too much. A little booty headed too. It should be okay though. But I don't think I'll do that. I think I will just kind of return to form with Saturday's E. I think I'm still going to call it Survival Saturdays, so if we start ditching out on DayZ, we can always just play survival games in general. But yeah, I think that's going to happen. We've got Saloon Simulator planned for Tuesday of this week for before the window closes, so we'll give that a try. That looks pretty good. It's getting really good reviews. Even in early access, there's a lot of content, I guess, that's looking pretty good, so I'm pretty excited about that one, actually. Simulator games have been a little hit or miss for me, but we'll give it a shot. And of course, I'm still having a fantastic time, I would say. Let's go as far as to say fantastic with Kerbal Space Program. So Kerbal Space Sundays are not going away anytime soon. So if you keep coming on back, I appreciate you. Please continue to do so. And if you have any desire, come on around for some of the other segments too. Silly elderb shenanigans. Yes, I know. You might crash if you speed up any further. You might also drive you and everyone watching crazy if you fly in real time to the island airfield. I wish you could rotate the nav ball to look at it, because I want to see exactly the point when island airfield lines up with 90 degrees, but that's never... I'm assuming there's some mods and stuff where you can, like, you know, get like a bearing pointer and stuff like that, so you know exactly when you're lined up on it. Or, you know, I could just be better at flying this thing in general. I should have done this on a test instead of when we're actually, like, on approach to land here, but let's see how much I can slow us down. These are backwards, I've just realized also. I mean, obviously they'll do what's the intent is. We need to flip those bad boys around. This makes more sense for realism. You know, they would blow a trail if they got stuck or anything like that, but this isn't realism. I almost need to limit this engine a little bit. Like, I wish I could, you know, I could do an action group where I limit it off after takeoff, because it has too much thrust for this. This actually might be a viable candidate for a space plane. It's going to load up, not a space plane, rather, a science plane. It's going to load up a lot with weight, so probably not, but it's worth a look. I should look into that. Get those lights on. Here we come. Essentially gliding her on in at this point. Oop, let's not do that. It's going to get the wheel brakes ready, but all the brakes were ready. We are a little offset to the left, but it's okay. It's like real life. Everyone's like, please don't be as poor of a pilot in real life as you are in the game. I don't think I am. It's okay. Fear not. I don't want to speak too soon, but this is like the best landing ever here. Except for the bounce and the rolling and the out of control and the probably flipping and burning and crashing. You know what? I'll take it. You can go ahead and turn those off now. They're rolling the fire trucks as we speak. Look, they've put up the emergency beacon. Man, I was so proud of that touch too. I think I need a little bit of wider base on the mains there. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for Kerbal Space Sundays. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Sid, always good to see you. Para, thanks so much. I hope I didn't let you down. Either one of you. You know, I appreciate you guys' input. Appreciate you coming to hang out. I always have a good time with you guys. So I hope to see you once again. Next stream is going to be Tuesday before the window closes for Saloon Simulator, like I've already yacked at you about. After that, Friday, Back in My Day Friday, continue with Quest for Glory 4, having a good time over there with that. Saturday, I don't know if I'll start a Saturday Z. Keep your eye out on the schedule, both on YouTube and on Twitch. If I start that next week, maybe the week after. We'll see what's up. I need to edit some more YouTube videos and get some editing done that I keep saying every single stream, and yet I've neglected to do so. So maybe someday I'll do that. If none of that stuff interests you, I will see you next week right here for Kerbal Space Sunday. And if you're watching this at a later date, I'm elderb. Take care.